Very good. So, yeah, we're going to get started. 4 more animals take out the camera, right? So, this is what is due this week. So, Trey, this is where I'll have you start, and it's going to kind of be, I just want to see where you're at. Like, I'm not going to have you finish the quarter. If it's not going well, make you stick with those grades. No way. So, we'll just kind of see where you're at, and we'll go from there. But I'll have you work right here. Wait, what? Oh, in correlate. Yes, there is, child. Yes, there is. Yeah, that is. I saw that and I was like, wait, what? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Too funny. And then Trey, did you see Vivi's message about inviting you to the group chat that they do?
Yeah, we have an email group chat and it's awesome.
I didn't see
And a
it.
Discord group chat. But email is what most people have.
Yeah, so Vivi said,
We have Discord too, if you have Discord.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what Discord is, but
I do. I have it on my tablet.
oh,
here.
very cool.
Well, we can invite that to you too if you want.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good group, let me tell you. Seriously, it's best part of my Monday. I was excited. I was like, you guys get to
Yeah.
school. I got to teach live session. All right.
White
That
is
was-
always present. My cat is always here.
Yeah. Makes
I
me wish
would've-
mine was.
I would have just continued sleeping because I feel really sick. But
Yeah.
last time I was sick, I didn't come to the thing. And the 2-paragraph summary is super hard, and I really like this class, so I decided to show up.
Yes. All right. And that's kind of like when you think of it, it's a life skill, learning how to push how you're feeling aside and get what you need, get to where you need to go. So that's cool. That's a good thing to work on. It's hard to do. Oh
I'll
my
mute
gosh.
myself now.
If you have a laptop, you could just be laying in bed and doing school at the same time.
That's true. Although
I
he'll
would
fall
be
asleep.
laying in,
could
I would be
probably
laying in
move
bed
my
right now. My bed
laptop
is
and
right
do that.
there, but it would look really weird if I was like sideways with my camera on. So
I've done
Isaiah
that.
made everyone
That'd
sick.
be uncomfortable.
That would be,
it'd
yeah.
be comfortable to type too.
How did you make everyone sick, Isaiah? Jeez.
When
Why?
Isaiah was sick, Monet got strep. I got a headache that lasted for a few days, and
And
then
now I have the flu.
yeah.
Yep, I had strep last week. I did. And
Isaiah, your Starbucks is corrupting everybody.
pink eye,
Yeah.
What have
my
you
little
done?
kindergartner. Oh, that was a day. Yeah, after our lesson, I ran to the doctor and I found out I was having issues during the live session, and it was pink eye. I was like, that's cool. I
Well,
know
at least they can diagnose it and then they give you medication.
they did. Yeah, it cleared it up, so it was good. I prefer that than just like, I don't know why you're sick, It's not
At
fun.
least I already got sick, and now I don't have to go through worse sickness.
Right. So today, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract, do all the operations with mixed numbers, and then we're going to talk about converting between a decimal and a fraction. And we always talk about, yeah, that's tough. That is, no, it's okay. We always talk about in math, it's good to have notes with you. We've been playing around with making foldables, and we did one last week, and it went really well. So we're definitely going to do that again. But today we're going to just kind of get through it with just some practice there. So I would have a piece of paper or your math notebook or wherever. So I would definitely have something to write on and something to write with, just so you can take down a few examples.
I have a math notebook, but I have to go get it because I forgot where it is.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
do what you got to do. No problem. If you need to get something to write with and something to write on, go right ahead. It's all good. I'll hang out for a second. You guys could take your time and take a look at the notes here. So there are steps I have them up there. We'll get going. Type. I like that. See, it's kind of awesome because as long as you're paying attention, you can type stuff in chat just to have a little break from sitting there and talking about fractions, and you don't have a teacher saying, "Stop talking. No talking in class."
I think we annoyed Leah last week with our talking. Although we
Leah
were
does.
doing random stuff, so we stopped.
Oh, well, that's cool that you guys are like, okay, we see where we're at. But Leah doesn't get annoyed ever. She loves you guys.
Yeah.
She
was
speaks
having
very
like
highly.
surgery or something.
She was what?
She is having like knee surgery.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said hi to yourselves in science.
We said hi to ourselves like for a whole week and it confused the teachers so much.
Oh, that's funny.
I think we did it in this, but you didn't notice because everyone started saying it.
Oh, that's funny. You guys are goofballs. I love it. All right, so we're going to talk about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So it's just like regular fractions. And remember, if you don't like working with mixed numbers, you can always turn it into an improper fraction, right? You could do have you ever heard the song, bottom times the whole add the top? Have you ever heard that? I don't know, that's how I remember it. But if you ever want to, if you're like, I don't like these mixed numbers, I want to work with an improper fraction, you can. By just taking, like, if you have 5.5 here, if you take the bottom number times your whole number, so 5 times 2 is 10, and then add the top, you get 11 over 2. Bottom times the whole, add the top. That's how you do it. So you can Hey, I've done that, Sam. Let me tell you. My name is Jennifer, so sometimes yeah, I don't even know what I say, but I get you. I've done that before. But if you don't like these mixed numbers, you can work in improper fractions. And because we're online, there is a lot of really cool resources you can use to help you if fractions just are not working for you. And I will show you that. Okay, so first one here, we want to find a common denominator. So we have 3.5 and then 1 2/5. 1/2 and 2/5 need that common denominator. What would be a common denominator? Oh, sorry, Vivi. 3 1/10, we will see. Let's see. So 1/2, what do you guys think here? Yeah, I'm going to go with 10, right? Because look here, 2 and 5
I
are the
think they're doing the
denominators.
wrong one.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll cross this one out for now. Not that one. We're going on this one. That's okay. No problem. So, yep, that's definitely going to be 10 as a denominator. So what does 3.5 change to if we have 10 as the denominator? What do you think? What would the numerator be? And remember, you're thinking about how you get from the 2 to the 10. Yeah, it would be 5. It would be 5 because 2 times 5 gives you 10, and 1 times 5 is 5. You got to do the same to the top, okay? And now we'll do the other one here. We're going to subtract 1, and our 10 is our denominator. How do you get from 5 to 10? What do you multiply by? By 2, so you got to do the same to the top. So 2 times 2 is 4, yeah. Okay, so we have our common denominators. Now we're going to subtract. So we first subtract the whole numbers. So 3 minus 1. What's 3 minus 1? 2. Yep, and then we subtract our numerators. 5 minus 4 gives us 1. 2 and 1/10. 2 and 1/10. That is what we have there. Now let's say that you're like freaking out and it's just not making sense. You never, ever, ever have to be super stressed about this stuff because we have resources. We really do. Calculator I highly recommend is our friend Desmos. The Desmos calculator. I will put the link in chat. And it's just because we're kind of transitioning away from the more basic math and we're going to get into a lot more of the algebra and the functions and all that stuff. Yes. Yeah, and you know, you could have it linked. I like Desmos because of how it lays everything out.
I just have to press, like, I have a key that I never knew was there, but this means calculator, so I just press that and then it comes out.
Oh, that's super awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think if I never knew that, that's pretty cool.
Now, I don't know if Desmos does mixed numbers, but they might. So we had 3.5, and then what do we have? 1 2/5. Okay. So 3 space. Oh, maybe they do. 1/2 minus 1 space 2. Oh, very good. Okay, so they do kind of show it. They will show it as an improper fraction, though, or as a decimal. So they won't show it as the mixed number here, but you can subtract the mixed numbers. You can type it in. You just put a space in between there. I know. Now I got to tell you, you have calculators on your computer that are good, and some of them may even lay it out like this. I really like Desmos because you can lay it out as fractions. It'll convert your fractions for you. It will really help. So I highly recommend this website if you're going to use that because it lays it all out there. But you don't have to. It's just there if you're struggling and you just need to see it. Sometimes that helps. It's better to use a calculator instead of not doing it and getting it wrong, right? So, very cool. Okay, let's do this one really quick. So first I need a common denominator between 5.5 and 3 1/8. What is the common denominator between the 2 and the 8 there? What could they both become by multiplication? Yeah, Vivi, you got it. That's 8. Right? And remember, you can see that just by listing out your factors there. Counting by 2s, counting by 8s, all that good stuff. So, and I'll just show it just cause. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you're like, oh, we can get to 8. We don't need to even list our things there. Yeah, so we'll leave the 3 and the 8th just as is. And then we'll put the 8 down here. Now, how do you get from 2 to a denominator of 8? What do you multiply by? By 4. So you got to do the same to the top. So 1 times 4 gives you 4. So then we subtract, and what do we get? Uh, 5 minus 3. Yeah, wrong way. I knew it. I knew it. That was good. So 5 minus 3 is 2, and then 4 minus 1 is 3. Yeah, I recommend doing it this way. I really do, because less work. You don't have to take your improper fraction and change it back and forth. But you can do it that way if that works better. Any questions on this? Go ahead and write nada or nope if you have no questions, because then I can see who's with me here. Yep, that's all you got to do. Find a common denominator and subtract. That's it. Yeah. What you were saying, Vivi, you can't forget you find that common denominator and then you multiply the numerator by the same thing. Yep, you're right. Nada, nope. Very good, friends. Cool. All right. So, I think this is the... Okay, so you guys remember when you're subtracting numbers like this, okay? You remember how sometimes we have to borrow, right? So if I wanted to show the subtraction of this, I line up my numbers, but I can't subtract this 8 from this 4. So I have to borrow from this 3. So this 3 turns into a 2. Yep, I borrow 1 from the 3 and I bring it over here, and it turns into 14 minus 8. So we borrowed kind of a whole 10 there and we put it onto that 4. We're going to use the same idea, because sometimes with fractions you will have to borrow, but it'll look a little bit different. Since these are whole numbers, we borrowed a 10. Yeah, that's good, because it's the same idea with fractions. So let's do it. 14 minus 8. What is 14 minus 8? Is that 6? 6. Okay, good. I don't try and do subtraction in my head. It never works out right. So then it's kind of the same deal. 2 minus 7, can't do it. So I'm going to borrow from the number next to it. Changes this, goes down to 1. And then this turns into 12. 12 minus 7. What's 12 minus 7? 5. Very good. And then 1 minus 0 is just 1. Is that a whoa for the subtraction, Sarah? Or for the Spanish?
The Spanish.
All right. Hey, that's okay. That was pretty amazing. That was.
Did you copy and paste that, or do you actually know that?
Did you know that, Isaiah, or did you copy and paste it? Fess up. No. Oh, it's just Google. Okay. We love log subtraction, right? It's the same idea for fractions. I'll show you guys. Because sometimes you do, it's the same steps. We first find a common denominator and then subtract, but you might need to borrow. So we got to get that common denominator. What would be a common denominator for this first one here between the 4 and the 12? That's always your first step. Definitely going to be 12, right? So the second one stays the same, but the first one, we're going to rewrite it so we have a denominator of 12. And these are really good ones to write down, just in case you need to see an example of how to borrow. Because that's what I always needed to look at. So how do you get from 4 to 12? What do you multiply by? 3. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do the same to the top. 1 times 3 gives me 3. So you'd think this is a negative, but here's the issue. The whole numbers, you still have a big minus a small, and the fractions, they're not. The fractions, it's a small minus a big, and you can't do that. That just doesn't make sense. So we're going to borrow. We're going to take a whole away from this 7. So that 7 is going to go down to 6. And then we're taking that whole fraction and we got to add it into here to make this numerator bigger. What number do you guys think I'm going to add to that numerator? Because I borrowed 1 whole of this fraction. So what number do I add to that numerator? 12. You're right, Vivi. Very good. Because this fraction is in the form of twelfths. So since the denominator is 12, you add that to the numerator. Because that is the form of the whole that you took away from the 7. It's 12 twelfths. Does that make sense? Kind of weird at first, but so we're going to add 12 to it. So we now have 6 and 15 twelfths minus 3 and 5 twelfths. Now I can do my subtraction. I could do 6 minus 3 is 3. And what's 15 minus 5? 10. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of like you got to remember how to do it. It's like, oh yeah, okay. And excuse me, it's dry in here. Oof. So that is going to simplify a little bit. What would that 10 12 simplify to? Yep, 5 over what? 5 over 6. Yeah, very good, you guys. Very, very good. So we divide by 5 or by 2 on both of them. Both of them can divide by 2, so it simplifies to 3 and 5 6. Very good. All right, let's do this next one. So common denominator. Oh, I was going to grab my kitten. She'll be a year in January, a kitten who roams around here. And I want to force her snuggling me, but she won't do it.
When they turn a year old, they're teenagers, so.
Yeah, she's a punk right now. Oh my gosh.
I'd go outside by my dog, but it's kind of cold.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
My
what
dog
kind of
was just sleeping in the snow.
Oh, I love that. It's cool. Oh, what
I
kind
got
of a
nice
dog?
sunny weather, but it's freezing.
It's cloudy and gross over here. But it's not as cold. So,
My dog is like ultra long hair, so he's good. He's
oh,
just
that's cool.
He is really fat though. So.
Fat doggos are cute.
Hi.
Oh, he's so sweet.
He's really chubby.
He's so sweet. Yeah.
You can kind of see one in the background on the bed.
That's bed doggo.
Bed dog. Yeah. Yeah, he's always on that bed. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
She's very huge too. She takes up the whole space.
That's so cool. That's her bed, right?
Yeah, it actually basically is.
Oh, Junior, that's totally fine. You do what you gotta do. I'm going to yay, Kermit. I'm gonna post a video of this on Moodle just in case you need to see the rest of the math. All right, let's keep on plugging away here. This one, what would be a common denominator between the 3 and the 6 there? 6, yeah. Very good. So we're going to, the second one stays the same. 4 and 5, 6. Oh, Eerie, right? Small world. Yes, very good. It's going to be 2/6, right? Very good, because we go 3 times 2 to get to 6. Do the same to the top. Good. So now we're going to have to borrow. So what is going to happen with this first one here? What's that 5 going to turn into? Yup, we're going to be adding 6. So the top is going to turn to 8, but this one's going to be, you're going to subtract 1 there. 4. It's going to turn into a 4. Yep. And then we're going to add 6 to this numerator because the fraction that we borrowed, the whole that we borrowed, is in the form of 6/6. So we're going to add 6 to that numerator. So we have 4 and 8/6 minus 4 and 5/6. So we are left with 3/6, which is 1/2. Very good, guys. Nice. Good stuff. Okay, so this slide talks about how to convert between mixed numbers and improper fractions. Okay, now I think this sounds a little bit more confusing than what you have to do. It's just if you think of bottom times the whole, add the top. That's what I would think of. I'm going to type that on there. There's a song about
from last time, isn't it?
say it again.
This is the lesson from last time? Or like this one?
Last week?
Yeah, last week, sorry.
I don't think so. I might have shown this slide. I might have mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah.
But not the official one, no.
Mhm.
Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I do.
Yeah, I remember this being a lesson and then you had to like go over all of it, so I know how to do it.
Oh, I might have talked about it already. I apologize. It
Fine.
showed up for the week, so I'm like, yeah, I get ahead of myself. I get excited there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so bottom times the whole, add the top when you're going from a mixed number to an improper fraction. If you're going from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you're just dividing. You're figuring out how many times that bottom one goes into the top one. Bye, Junior. Bye. Good luck. So what would that be at the bottom as an improper fraction? If I take the bottom times the whole and then add the top.
17 or
17, right. 17 over what?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Yep. You take the same denominator. So we take the bottom times the whole, that's 15, add the top, that's 17. And you use the same denominator. So 17 over 3. Yeah, it's a good feeling. Unless you haven't been to the dentist in a while. It's scary. Nope. Go away, husband. Don't call me. I should have turned that off. Bad. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, so when we're multiplying and dividing with mixed numbers, what we have to do is we first have to change them to improper fractions. Okay, because you have to, that's just what you have to do with multiplying. So for this first one, let's change these to improper fractions. So 2 1/3, bottom times the whole, add the top. What would that be as an improper fraction? 7 over 3, right. We take 3 times 2, add the 1, 7 over 3. What about the next one? What would that one be as an improper fraction? 7 times 5, add 2. 37 over 7, right. And then we're just going to multiply straight across. That's it. And then simplify. Now, what's cool here, something you guys can do to help you simplify before you finish the problem, because sometimes it's really, really, really hard to simplify really big fractions. What do you guys notice diagonally?
7 and 7.
Which part's confusing, Trey? Is it the changing to improper?
I didn't really get to learn this before I came here.
Oh, sure. No, that's really good. That's good feedback. Did you go from, does it make sense how we're changing these mixed numbers into improper fractions?
I don't. Kinda.
Kind of. Yeah, it's hard to see it. I get that. I
'Cause
totally do.
You're multiplying the bottom to the whole number and then adding the top.
Yep.
If you write it out, it's a lot. You can remember it a lot better.
Yes, that's what I would write. And I would just kind of go slow, and I would kind of have it down there. Denominator times the whole number plus 3. Yep. And then you keep the same denominator. And then what we would do is we would go straight across. That's it. We would go 7 times 37 or 3 times 7. But look at these fractions here, guys. Do you see these 7s that are repeated diagonally? See those 7s, how they're the same there diagonally?
Yeah.
If you have numbers that either match or are like can divide into each other, you can do that and simplify your problem. So 7 and 7, since they match, we can kind of divide them both by each other. 7 divided by 7 would just give us 1. So then you go 1 times 37, it's 37, then 3 times 1. 37 over 3. And if you're like, oh my gosh, that's confusing, I'm going crazy here, we don't need to go crazy. We can go to Desmos. And we can simplify it there. 37 divided by 3 is not divisible by anything because 37, I believe, is prime.
Yeah, you can't divide it by 3.
Yeah.
It'd be the one number you can divide it by is 36. Because that's 3 times 12.
Yeah, so that's a good point, Trey. You gotta, if you want to take it and put it back as a mixed number, you see how close you can get it. So Trey was saying the closest we can get is 3 times 12, which is 36. So that would be our whole number out front. 3 goes into 37.
Otherwise, it could be 12 and 1/3.
Yep, 12 and 1/3. Because there's 1 left over after you try and go into it. Very good. Very good. Let's do this next one here. So we're going to take those and we're going to convert them into improper fractions. So 3 and 1/2. Bottom number times the whole, add the top. Right, that would be a 7. I like that. Boop, boop, 7. And then you take the same denominator, which is a 2. What about the next one? 1 and 2/5.
7.
Yep, very good. Also 7/2. Oh, 7 over 5. Sorry. Gotta take the same denominator. Now this one, unfortunately, 7 and 5 can't divide by anything, and 7 and 2, no, you would get decimal. So we're going to go straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So 7 times 7 is
42. Or
40.
48.
Little higher, 49, almost. So close. And then 5 times 2? 10.
10.
Very good. So you get 49 over 10. And then how many times does 10 go into 49? How close could you get?
4.
4. Right, because 40 is as close as you could get. And if 40 is as close as you can get, that means there's 9 left over. 4 and 9 tenths. Good. Now when you divide that one, So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change them into improper fractions. So what would 5 3/4 be? $23. That's right. We don't do 5 times 3. We go 5 times 4. So bottom times the whole, and then add the top. So you're going 5 times 4 plus 3. Yes. So you'll have 23 over 4. And then, what about 3.5? What would that be? 7. Again. Oh, man. Now, when we divide with fractions, we don't ever divide. What we do instead is we talked about it last week, right? Keep, change, flip. We keep the first one the same. What do we change this division sign to? Inverse, reverse. I like that. To a multiplication. Yep. And then we flip that second one. So we're going to keep the first one the same, 23 over 4. Change it to multiplication and flip the other one. Oh, and look at the 2 and the 4 that are diagonal. Guys see that?
Oh, I can't see that. Hold on.
Oh, the cameras might be in the way. Let me erase here. I'll write it right here.
Yeah, I can see it now a little bit. I moved my camera.
Oh, perfect. I wrote it here just in case you guys can't see it. So do you guys see the 2 and the 4 that are diagonal like that? Both of those could be divided by what number?
2.
By 2. So we're going to do that. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. And then we multiply straight across the top. 23 times 1 is 23. 2 times 7 is 14. Now, if you don't like doing that little switcheroo thing that I did, you can always just do it just like it is. So let's say we did 23 times 2 and then 4 times 7. What would you get? What would that be? That would be like 46 over 28. That's what you would get if you did not do that little trick where we divided. Remember, Desmos, super helpful, guys. Watch this. I'll show you. It's so awesome. I just gotta move my camera. Here we go. So we'll go to Desmos. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Can you see the Desmos happening?
Yep.
So we'll go 46 over 28. See how it's this big crazy decimal until you click on this circle? Bam, 23 over 14. Converts it for you. Desmos. Yeah, it sounds really weird because I'm super congested right now, but there is the link, desmos.com/scientific. Very, very helpful calculator. Oh, fuzzy kitty. All right.
Like, that kitty looks like my aunt's. She's got one that looks just like
She's
it.
probably fatter than your aunt's cat, though. She's pretty chunky.
Chubby kitties are the best, though. They're so cute. Okay, so guys, think about the other part of your lesson is you'll have to convert between fractions and decimals, and we're just getting started in a decimals unit here. So think about this one. Fractions are always the top divided by bottom, part over whole. So if you ever have to convert a decimal or a fraction into a decimal, you can do just the straight calculation, and you can go 3 divided by 10. Easy peasy, you get your decimal. Okay? But if you have a fraction out of 10, remember our decimals are in the tenths places, right? So we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I can't do the sound as well. I like the bippity bop Kermit stuff. That's pretty cool. So if we want to take these fractions and convert them to decimals, easiest thing is you're going to take the top and divide it by the bottom. You can also try and get them to be fractions out of 10. So how would I take this one and change it so it has a denominator of 10? What would I need to multiply the top by?
2.
By 2, and you would get 6. Right, good job. So since that is 6 out of 10, as a decimal, that's 6 in the tenths place, so that's 0.6. Okay, so if you get it to be a fraction out of 10 or 60%, you're right. Very good. Very good. What about this one here? What would I divide the top by?
4.
By what?
4.
By 4. It would be a 4. So you might actually get a funky little decimal here. So 20.
It would be like 6 times 4, but then it would be a leftover of 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Very good. So you get like 6.75. So then this one, in the tenths place, you just kind of steal the numbers from top, 0.675.
That makes sense.
So if you want to turn it into a decimal, all you got to do is take the top divided by bottom or make it a fraction out of 10. And then just take whatever the numbers are and stick them after that decimal. Pretty nifty. And if you want decimal out to a fraction, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Decimal to a fraction, you're just going to put it over whatever decimal place it is. So see how this one has 2 decimal places? 2 decimal places is in the hundredths place. So we're going to take that 38 and stick it over 100. Yep. And then simplify. And you can use Desmos to help with that. But if you don't want to, you could, both of those are even, so we can start by dividing by 2. Thanks, Desmos, right? Woohoo, we love Desmos. What's 38 divided by 2? What would that be if we divided by 2 because they're both even? Yeah, 19. And 100 divided by 2 is 50. Yep, and then that can't simplify that anymore. What would I stick this one over, this 0.125? It's not 2 decimal places, so it's not hundredths. You guys remember? Yeah, it's a thousandths. Very good. So that one, you just make it a fraction over 1,000 and then simplify. I believe you could start dividing by, what is it, 50? 125 divided by 50. Nope, not 50. 125 divided by 25. Yep, we can divide by 25. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Yes, sir. So we get 5 over 40 can go a little further. You can divide by 5. 1/8. Very cool. That's no problem, Trey. What about this one? 0.82. What would I stick it over? 82 over what? 100. Yeah. Then you would simplify. Good. Good stuff. All right. We don't need to do that. Oh, I extended my chat. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right. Guys, that's all I have for you today. That is it. So, you are free to skedaddle. Vivi's going to lead some good fractions chat, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. Right? It's very straightforward. I like that.